paranoid. You behave in a way one share people struggle to understand why you are acting the way you are.
Okay.
Referee now could dig in. What's your friend say?
Ricardo de Burgos.
Yes. Now, you see, whenever a referee is called for some category of matches, Ayana, the HNS is either is mastered the art of courage in those games.
Okay.
And in the decision, no, I always spot on in those games. Until I go to a time, say, yeah, per big game, Bia or Europa, Obenya Howard Webb, he was there, Colina, he was there. But this is a referee in 2018 Onya the FIFA badge. Now, while officiating numerous games in the Spanish league on the European stage, Inti Shadrach Beboye with the matches were involved with the Supercopa, the Spanish Supercopa. He has been involved in a game. Barcelona, Real Madrid 3-1. He was the same man. He didn't know.
Yeah.
This was the final in 2023.
Okay.
Barca a winning game by 3-1. And this is in 2017. And on the screen, Osha 2017, so in the same Supercopa, you had the same referee over the game now. Ama Real Madrid and so Ashe Barcelona by 3-1. So baby,
yeah.
I didn't know.
Sure.
Now what's called matches overall games were officiating the Spanish league. Obon say team while officiating the game the most matches Atletico de Madrid 34 games, 23 wins and then 4 defeats. Now when you 7 drawn games FC Barcelona games are refereed 31 games, 25 wins, 1 draw game and then 5 defeats for Barcelona. And no Abesha Real Madrid. Madrid are 25, 17 wins, 4 drawn games and then 4 defeats. Until you ask yourself, say, and the Madrid reason I'm sorry against referee, dang. And clearly, if you read in between the lines, they just want to destabilize the whole game from the officiating perspective. Because in February, also it's the same Real Madrid. I'm not sure. Officiating our league in a but legends of Real Madrid omunim no boy bia no more discuss omo team now. Omo say omo team na enye balanced. This season almost share 2 times. 9 goals as against 2. So it shows a side that we are highly dominant. Now all back into this game, the fear factor in him. And send akomia chair, the present aspect of Real Madrid and yadia omuye bomusa and Mbappe betima start, but behind him obonse there's a space. Basenka uko share Barcelona at this stage. Ejumana, I will say very simple for you because Obia who says they play the high line, so you can always utilize that frailties a warm defense and then head Barcelona.
Yeah,
but Real Madrid surprisingly, can't team or everything. I was saying come team also more hitting Barcelona and Real Madrid. Why? Because the front line in your players they have pace. So whenever you are attacking with pacey players, now how Barcelona set it up, you can always break through their high line a bit to the offside trap. Until last weekend, when they set out the Vigo the year, sometimes passing it to me, but in their own half. Look at Glaciers goals out shared a hat trick now. It came in a similar fashion. So beating Barcelona an idea, a cut out for Team BR or what it is. But Barca also prove say they are a tough customer for Real Madrid, especially this season. So a team I want to fear losing to Arsenal. Look at the goals they conceded. And no more hesitate the UEFA Champions League. And then Robert Lewandowski and Mobi, which based on the quality, nobody say a big miss. But in this competition there, the discussion of Robert Lewandowski and because the top scorer for Barca in this competition is Ferran Torres. On the Benya the North to start. On the other side of the opponent, also. The also a top scorer for Madrid, and also you'll be a young consider for this game. I be over me the bench in Hendrick. And also has 5 goals. So Barca will the right to for this game. And that is Ferran Torres together with Rafinha and Lamine Yamal. Senia Messiah chair no. So Madrid benya BB from game now. Always and again I will state. About how they will deal with the midfield of Barcelona, which I think they will not have the antidote to it.
Okay.
Pedri and then Gavi. These are 2 players. Among football intelligence, no, very great, and they played under a manager. During the time, no, and Barcelona the best years in European football history. So it's going to be a lively game, but I feel say this is a game. If I'm to predict, I bear more than 2 goals in this game.
More than 2 goals.
And I still feel Barcelona has a lot at their disposal, and then they can go ahead and win this particular encounter. So I'm going for a 2-1 victory for FC Barcelona in this game. Oko Italy so Inter Milan any team na friends in Roma. Na Claudio Ranieri, the Tinkerman.
Yeah.
So we share such experience hands at this time. Omo in their groover heading. Now per teams omanya the mean defense Roma so count 17 games unbeaten.
Yeah.
And Oko share Inter Milan at a crucial stage. After this game, no, or travel to Barcelona. So I also tweak system, also change personnel for this game against AS Roma. But Roma team no so nye team ube shiana ube timenya goals bebresa. Check their last games on my ball. Either a 2 goals, 1-0 be normal for win and also more ball draw. Inti this is a difficult game for Inter Milan. A bit defining almost season a lot. But I still believe
a match to play.
They have a crucial game to play. And baby Omujinano, they can't afford to lose this game to Roma. Because when we losing Napoli win here, it means a points gap no almost wide no. Now they are
71. Yes.
Into bed Oba lose grip of the Scudetto title or for the Champions League against Barcelona. And also Oba call all out in this game. Inter quality. MOB and Ada, they have the quality. Davide, Fratesi, they are all available for this game.
Yeah.
I think say Lautaro Martinez still will be in his groove. Anatovic an option from the bench. Angel Correa, they are still available. Game looking more of a drawn game. But Ebeko for who becomes the most clinical in terms of the upfront department of the game. Me bias no be mama at the win at the Inter Milan. Though I know say this is a difficult game, and if it ends in a draw, I wouldn't be surprised. But for the love I have for Simeone Inzaghi and any team any Ejuma, I think I will be a bit biased for Inter Milan win. On the continent,
can we? Bible name chantro say obi bibia ne mre. Ye omra ye disu.
Yeah, ne omra district.
Ye omra district. Ye omra ye didua. And ye omra ye ditwa. Ye ditwa. Em say weekend we e san common na beko so.
Okay.
Ebi bredru se bi besu. Ebi su bredru se bi besre. Ebi bredru se bi bedua. Ebi bredru se bi betwa. English Premier League no esun e wo ho kakra. Siri e wo ho kakra. Ana obi so ebedua bibi, ana obi so betwa bibi. Oh, the Premier League mu. Italian Serie A ade ni bi so wo. But medical shas here free Spain. Where asunu mienu Asia. Na yesi asunu mienu Asia na so moko a e de na bre.
Nnuane wo ho no.
Nnuane wo ho
no bre pa.
So no matter who is going to win the Copa del Rey final, eye den a couple ebi besu entokwa besi. and you might be brave in you can't put it away. But this is one particular game, and you might in some way are very important tonight and is at stake for these two teams. One, pride.
Okay.
Two, momentum. And 3, a bit must set the tone for any history any of them wants to make.
Okay.
The entire makers a pride near say omumi anu ntem no. About 8 Copa del Rey finals. Real Madrid win 4. Barcelona win 4.
Okay.
There's a certain level of pride that omumi anu nyina be looking out for in this particular fixture said you be win betimi atra ne yonko. That means enanadwi e betimi akọ 5-4 e dia ma obia.
Yeah.
Pride. Momentum. Omumi anu no baby omu gina say no. Omu crucial games be done when more here a certain level of confidence and momentum to play. Barcelona nankasa de ono kwa de momentum nim dada. Because o check the year 2025 for Barcelona lose only 1 game as compared to Real Madrid in Chebia and even in the Champions League you konya say Arsenal Essen home and away. Before that particular encounter no Valencia akọ Santiago Estadio de Bernabeu akọ show mo by 2-1 nibi ama isi and Real Madrid momentum ne die obi be kan say in the balance kakra.
Yeah.
But when in this particular encounter a bit me propel Barcelona akọso aka say na ye kra fi we no de lose game no kra no Dortmund say no kra na ahye first leg na wi ti de na kire say yentimi nche obi amfa nka ho ne mfa nko yanim fa nko gide de beji after some beji the Copa del Rey.
Yeah.
Real Madrid su betimi de ahye ne tinima pick momentum say yenya a bad weeks bi kakra bi atwam kakra ana results ne mfa maye na when I ya gene de and wa wudi yanim bia no ye de wachi be dey ebeka form Champions League ne ko but trophy there ye be make sure say ya je UEFA Super Cup na je the Intercontinental Cup no ye the Copa del Rey no so aka ho dia any league no ye the momentum so be dey e be real. It is very important for momentum set the tone e betima set the tone the ama Barcelona in winning the treble because onya se Real Madrid wo Copa del Rey na e woni trim say momentum ni nyoma na o ma fa ne pride na ekuta omo no kapo de da ye nim bia no ye betimi akobom tokuro ne afa de kodie no ne de aba efie.
Okay.
Real Madrid sunya je soso a ono so betimi de asini bo aka se na se wamu na di anim kan wo league nim eni omo match 11th May ye nyire ye ho ne yembo league no ye betimi asa akoje ye show mo a de aka bia so wo akira ye betimi aje. It is an nyoma miensa we e ma game we edam soronko nyame ya adoma ena anwumre Yabakaya back in 2011 ami a ball Copa del Rey final ma Cristiano Ronaldo kopim ball bi share in extra time panyan ama 2014 ye konya say Gareth Bale bobo bi dia fa magbato ho
o tisi tano no so
o tisi mua e fa na chia e ko pre ball ne de ye dey e de to net meaning the last 2 Copa del Rey finals between Real Madrid and Barcelona, Real Madrid they nya kwanya bi wo ho de ayede agency na so. But the oma de omu ye you know amafo attention wo so bebre se Barcelona e betimi a Real Madrid ni gina de ba ko ne say which is true and it is factual. Real Madrid enye better than Barcelona this season. No. In terms of results, consistency. Real Madrid enye better than Barcelona. Mene wo ka say ye ka form ekuta 2 teams in the crampo na Barcelona form no one over there. E was so. Barcelona also looking convincing when it comes to playing because ball no omo mra no makwa akosho. Barcelona ebo game a wo gidie say ye hye ne kra no ba beti aye dey. Ahyew. Hwe omo game against Celta Vigo. Die ne si ye. Omo ne mayoka esi mu aye din. But the Barcelona here. So you look at the Barcelona team and you look at the Real Madrid team. Now the mummy no tun seniani. Now we share form guide. Now her results of mummy no nya. Now her performances of mummy no done dia. Kapu me sure say untimi kan kire say Real Madrid bo Barcelona so da. Barcelona has been the better side among these two.
Okay.
But a final near Babeboy. And a final also a rivalry near the Babebo. You know the first final I see between the two of them are in the Spanish Super Cup. I will say Barcelona share Real Madrid by 5-2. It is this season already no final back where Eddie Cambono 1-0. You Babebo another final. It is my seminal thing at the Real Madrid. But Real Madrid did you more one say in 2023. Abra no mo di the Copa del Rey ne dey si omo na aso no. Omo na J the Intercontinental Cup no.
Okay.
Esa so J the UEFA Cup, Super Cup dey dey. E dey si omo na aso. It UEFA Super Cup. Then at the same time the FIFA Club World Cup and the Intercontinental Cup be e bobo na nsa na yakobo FIFA Club World Cup no. Later on no. Eno so ma J dey si omo na aso. Ti omo ogidie say in 2023 whatever that happened more mutimi kwaje the final abro mo show suna by 2-1 no e bi betimi asi ba couple yen hwe game nim ne yen hwe ade history
you okay no
I want the part to play.
Yeah, Madrid for no form no o compared to Barca. So ma share crowd o ma hye wo mu ni ade.
Oh ma so 9-2.
And ehuru mu nti ana o mo yes yensa referee no. Yeah more than na kan be antes.
And na me ka say me say Real Madrid a share bo game no off the pitch.
Mo ba adwinu mo bo.
Me no esisi me so kwampo say and Real Madrid trainee. Ba wan trainee of venue na
mo. Bibi obi abehu no. Very funny, Madrid.
Anna, when Real Madrid start doing some of these things, look at but when their players also keep quiet about such games, because game we Barcelona mentioned that we say Bellingham, Vinicius, also money as na no kasa
yeah, but we ubia can be bia. Unto ubia story bia.
And okasa kra ko there because we Barcelona no, who your favorite?
Yeah.
Onu was here 2 times, was on 9-2. Was on 9-2. Who front and back.
Yeah.
And yes, score ketwa. Was had the trophy a decali a day. Every him. League now and a bonus so sad also. Kapu and yen to ketwa. Tokwanoso papa. But Real Madrid, one particular club, they don't play finals, but they win finals.
And also,
what am I say? At the same time, Barcelona and Haji Copa del Rey title no do pa. But in between the two of them, I'm there 7-2 on me say 4-4. The last 2 finals na ya boni na so the Real Madrid na fa ho abeshe Barcelona. And these games came at a time when Barcelona form no was reach Real Madrid for no so kakra. Because the Cristiano Ronaldo cop him the extra time he say game no mu ye den papa. The Caribbean of more ne farm agbatra won ko fa to net no game ni ye den papa.
Yeah.
Ansa no munya akonya. Etimi awini those office ni dey si omo na so. But the game itself at the full be discussing. But on the referee issue, Real Madrid wanted to get into the heads of the referee and create something. Me sure say omo ye diverse mi ba yenim.
Angina for no cry Spanish Football Federation, Royal Federation. I know almost a sound referee. Referee also cried here.
Almost set a trap no money omo. And Real Madrid TV for Nankasa, they knew what they were doing.
Inti referee also emotionally once they were attached with something. I say and the basic game no so GBB correct ya Madrid professional way referee but psychologically me kwaji yenka ye medi matem.
That is the dark side of football.
Inti esen ko mo sesa no.
And who here some best no ankudi.
Ano no so o sesa na e beka say Madrid for na
aya.
So problem of referee problem on so pa.
Madrid.
Pressure
be bad so.
Do no so be ba no.
Yeah.
Now be a jebu team din. Real Madrid ade na mo pe no mo saka. Now on the referee side.
So o referee no awie.
Anya so mo rem so be dia mo ba. O mo the pressure be ato so. As a o take decision be kra na 50-50 be kra na obey careful kaka because you don't want to be the topic after the game. You don't want to be the discussion after the game because already also Obako school you catch your Obasa papa your kronfo.
Sure.
It's no can be now they are done in so what it But Real Madrid ehunu ni say ball nankasa na ye ko ball nankasa na omo nya de enchen Barcelona. Madrid nankasa nim. Wa Madrid football this season bia no one they are not running more. Omo cover a lot of distances.
Yeah.
Now no tibu koto na ba bonte be ka say I say o check your statistics cramping your man when it comes to kilometers or much na. Omo ntru mi ka bebre. Now no me post video be about Vinicius Junior and Kylian Mbappe against Arsenal. Kwa na mo fa so mo press. What I say? So the whole team looks quite, I said, down kakra. They lack intensity. They lack a certain level of coordination.
Okay.
So intensity and coordination. It will Real Madrid team when they are pressing, omunye coordinated. I say we press for her. Where you slow kakra now where you say. And the level of intensity omo de bobo no. Individual players been abo kakra wo mu. For example, Federico Valverde.
Yeah.
But the rest of the players, you don't see a certain level of intensity within their game. But Barcelona ball with intensity. Barcelona ball with a coordinated style of play. And then quite almost suppress it. And whatever decision they take on the field with these players or more, the synergy is there. So that is where the problem is.
Okay.
But on the field of play, so all the two teams in a possible lineup to screen is one. Then we will look at players are me say and so mu de mu wura mu a ebetimi aboa omo. On the side of FC Barcelona, Julius Kounde, Pau Kubasi, Nigo Martinez, Gerard Martin, Wojciech Szczesny, me medica kasenya afini be test against him. Elibraba, Szczesny na that post ni do this crucial moment amane na de to aso. Then Frankie de Jong and Pedri as the double pivot. The reason why Pedri ni Frankie de Jong double pivot no, very important for Barcelona tonight in the match after lineups no.
Okay.
Then Yamal, Dani Olmo, Rafinha, and Ferran Torres. And the reason why in Tia, me say omo missing Alejandro Balde. Gerard Martin e bonne problem dia momo. The reason why omo double pivot Pedri ebo as the number 8 ebe bo omo pa in terms of doing one or two things. And the Tia, me said this game come here obi to say Robert Lewandowski.
Okay.
Sanyo mami ensano meba.
Okay.
O check Real Madrid probable lineup omusu betimi de esi akaya. Thibaut Courtois very important for this particular final. Meaning say Lunin ewo ho amanfo be de na Lunin ana mo ma Lunin nda na mo derby we the final e braba trophy Real Madrid dey pagie. But already dia follow Mendy ebe ramu at the left back instead of Fran Garcia. Then over Antonio Rudiger and Raul Asensio. Then Federico Valverde be on the right back. Then over Benya Jude Bellingham, Luka Modric, Aurelien Tchouameni. I will come and explain the reason why Federico Valverde too body very important for Real Madrid. Then number 2, Mabe Chiremu Dientia, so we are Madrid, say Omo Luka Modric ahead of Dani Ceballos, a very problematic diamomo.
Okay.
Anna Dientia, Kylian Mbappe, Omo man in free bench, and this particular game.
Okay.
Very important.
Now
within the setup, Dientia na meka Alejandro Balde and Gerard Martin assembly. Couple, Alejandro Balde offers Barcelona different things according to how or link it with Rafinha over the left part of the pitch. One, the overlapping and underlapping, solid.
Good.
Number 2, Barcelona ball with a high line. Yeah, Bobo on the tissue or Machia, or Muhia, Nipa Bako pace to recover. It will check here Guardiola Tamana or Kyle Walker no. Say Man City with the formation of the 3-1-6 where John Stones a movie Ekoshemu as the sole number 1 as the defensive midfielder cum center back now. Say counter attack be and transition be tisi Manchester City etia nipa no komirika track back pa tackle why Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
Say Jumani be and about the year. Kubasi will pace, Kounde will pace. But oh boy, your teams are more pacey wingers be to say Vinicius Junior. Oh boy, your team be mukuta pacey wingers. It's the to the bia. Say body not on your fit some time ago. Nobody Ronald Araujo ne both say 2.
Yeah.
Because Ronald Araujo was all day oh pace. It only Vinicius. No my boss sa no bet you mo dey for. But omo missing no quite problematic kakra de Barcelona. Especially also beating the press when Real Madrid decides to press. But press need the any said that because Real Madrid ain't a coordinated pressing system. O check your team now as will be a press said your fees open.
Yeah.
It is a dream one on them but baby ebema asama to omo kakra so mbo with the high line now. O here pace behind said the bear your bobo no to achi a obi dream recover be cover. With Gerard Martin problematic. Especially creating triangles. Triangles now make us here creating here dear. Oko the left part of the pitch now. Ubenya aya branty friend body. Ubenya Pedri no abenya Rafinha. So these particular triangles no mo ball hono. Omo timi ball no mo you free.
Okay.
Omo ball you free musa. Then they create spaces for the attackers to run in behind the defensive lines and get their goals. Gerard Martin betimi aye Debbie. Itienne. The opposite side, I'm because of Valverde, make sure to be important. No,
okay.
Just a Rafinha, a quite team more. No, Kono Gerard Martin. And now say Inigo Martinez or back of more than Gerard Martin. And now one of the midfielders will need to sacrifice and get closer and help Gerard Martin.
Okay.
And yes, sir, Valverde needs to ball with the right back now. Or very good when it comes to the crosses.
Oh, okay.
And the intensity was so. Or no, on your player or call. Or do Mikabeba or Baba cover and attention be Rafinha so. But Real Madrid attack here, they will overload that particular position.
Okay.
It's Rodrigo, Valverde, whoever starts for Real Madrid, either from the midfield or anywhere. Or more overload Gerard Martin side hono just to get results.
Okay.
It's here any Valverde importance and any Gerard Martin weakness. But Pedro come on now, me know about Bedini Jina say. Open and conform type breaking lines, partner. It is important to have line breakers in your team. Say babo na say line breakers no enye solid emfa ma wa obebre pa iti possession no babo wa wo ho no agem iti ene fe no inchenchemu ti mo pass no inchenchemu sa but all line breakers in your team you take it to a different level in terms of beating the first defensive line first phase no
okay
to the second phase defensive line then the third phase defensive line. It is a Shadrach betimi aboya. All the Pedri statistics at two screen so in terms of line breaking numbers now. Dodo awaya no first line or Dodo awa making the second line, Dodo awa making the third line or actually say very important with how our Pedri and link it up with attackers. It is Shadrach Beboy with the numbers now. You would understand what it means to be a proper line breaker in terms of the first defensive line, the second defensive line, and the third one. It is in terms of Pedri breaks line all over the pitch from the midfield row. It will what the total La Liga midfielders now.
Yeah.
This season, Nankasana Pedri first defensive line our breaking on our breaking side defensive lines. No, Makumako 31.
Okay.
Second phase near 105. Third phase near 17. So the first phase defensive line here say be on the Real Madrid the bar. Real Madrid the mano and intensive pressing.
Yeah.
But at least make pressing kakrana. Come first will be breaking first line.
First line.
We're breaking the Makumako 31.
Okay.
And a second one here says so call with the mid block. Or more pressing no do na. By mid block no more grouping feel be brebe na at least or more low block no. Quite ben of fast team. And only a 105. And as will be both the low defensive line and also both low defensive blocks now. Quite ben a Pedri fast rem. It is the entire 105 new important in this season. Barcelona and your players are 1,336 runs behind defensive lines. Okay. 300 more than any other team in the top 4 leagues. Meaning he said 105 breaking lines in the ball on time so.
Oh, okay.
In behind the defensive line. It will what they say about so about Bako. Na traw na siwachi no amane baako na traw ana 17 years so low block na kwan bi ofa so o timi de ball no atutu spaces nkete channel the runs of the strikers no more. It Pedri is the key and the master for tonight's El Clasico.
There's an strength no your middle no second line
or better ti o mu brutal
impejan to achi ni sa
it graph ni but Sadia Binso on send a line breaking passes in the tie wings in the pa
yeah.
So for one day to make us a Valverde very important.
Sure.
Now when you pass up so about the three fella Mendy. Line breaking passes no do not call the middle of a diagonal. It's a 2-2. What do you want? Diagonal runs and
or the namu.
But when fifth in the second one, and also wings now.
Yeah.
And namu baby it over the top no bokosa. Then forward no crumple there and the last line a taiko left hand side
yeah.
Balde Rafinha it is shodi
to two passes
to hosa it Pedri there but the entire make us a Ceballos very important in for last graph be to so mame shade where passes into attacking third per 90 minutes. And I say passes within the attacking third, within and into. Within ASM Jinamu na mobo. And I will to ma into Ufre Chino Baba could be near the court. Now into the power, yeah, the power, the Madrid power has in the power Danny Ceballos. We are among the top 4 European leagues and leagues. Shall there be a Danny Ceballos there? That means Danny Ceballos type ball passes into the attacking third. Now with Barcelona's high line, you need a player like Danny Ceballos to be playing such passes into the deep positions. It's a Pedri, na Dumano. Oh, probably on also betting my ebi diamawa. Abraham mobile the high line. He be a Danny Ceballos da. He be a Pedri so da. So Pedri makes more passes within the attacking third per 90 minutes. Within Pedri makes more. But Danny Ceballos makes more passes into the attacking third.
I'm fetch him a bonnet there.
Also, Ginechino about 1-2 pass.
Yeah.
But Pedri de Barcelona campo on a half of Museno.
I know no betray of him.
Massa. Bonnet too. But if Real Madrid also wants to win, it is important to have Danny Ceballos start this particular game for Real Madrid and go with such passes. It is, for example, Shehawa Pedri. A Pedja boy, the Julius Kounde. The entire say a call wings on it. Fullbacks. Most of the passes now call Rafinha, a Beko fullback no. And call Yamaha, a Beko fullback no. Sanity.
To Susunu a Pedja.
To Susunu a Pedja. Where your money Benfica no. Should you city ball pass ye? Oh, they are not free on my their games are mobile against Valencia. Should the same thing away from the attacking third. Bako or boy Rafinha make it there. So in behind number Kosa. Wait, when the city team 2. Players 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mayoka or Timu 2 pine.
Wow.
Low block. Omone Alaves. She come fast to team. She be a Kounde jina. The target is Kounde. Anybody. Because you say Rafinha ne Yama. Nipa be dey. E beta
yeah.
Itienne.
Wow.
Omo. Ana this game no.
Ejina wo
so.
Omo huso a team no be huso.
But Lewandowski ni nim no. Ferran Torres. Obama fluidity aba ni mo kakra.
Okay.
But there's a certain aura and class about Robert Lewandowski, you can't change it. You need your top players for some of these big games. There's the main case of Ferran Torres and Yadie. Now no the statistics were to about the entire so of free bench bar or share a lot of goals in Barcelona. But in such big moment, Kabin Hansen can superstar back here day. Nanko bottom. But Mbappe the end so American. Mbappe started game we say now Real Madrid coordinated pressing. This is where my problem is. Only Vinicius Junior the pressing it is saying.
To go and fetch him or monitor game from afar.
That is the key word I want. Sometimes you save your best.
Okay.
For the last. And you give me an start your best.
Sure. You fetch him about Bobo pa. Go monitor.
Barcelona did beat Real Madrid for the league, you know. And I game there no more boy Frankie de Jong free bench bar. I think one of the 5-2 or 4-0. Frankie de Jong by Danny or by Danny game no cra. Na Casado mo bobo bi oba no se da bi wontina nche na menya adwuma no.
Sure.
Or Danny get omo tete Real Madrid share Real Madrid bebre. So sometimes you save your best for the last.
Ancelotti massa formation how can system and I say ayi okay so infusing free chimredre and no be boa mama de hu so dance was starting ama ejigu wi a fe oni formula bia biem. Yeah bonus ah.
Yeah bonus. Na fe Hendrik mu ne be save video bia.
You know no.